Hello fans, I want to talk briefly today how we can identify lice in our farm or in our pig and what causes lice in our pigs. Some farmers, their pigs may have lice and they may not know or they may not recognize. And most time they may recognize that there is lice in their farm, their pigs are infected with lice, but they will take it as a very small problem. They will not even put that into consideration. Today, I want to discuss on what causes these lice, what are the symptoms, and how we can identify it, how we can know that our pigs is infected with the lice. First, we want to start with how we can identify it and what is lice. Before this, please, if you want to see more of this video, you got to subscribe. If you subscribe, that means you won't miss out in the next tip that I'm giving out. Okay, now what is lice? Well, lice is an insect, as it may be. Lice in pigs are caused by a yellowish brown lice. That is a family of insect that is known as hematopenos. That's the name of the insect that cause lice. They are known as hematopenos. That is in scientific terms. We don't want to go into that science because that will scare you or make you look as that is too big for pig business. But let us go low. What I mean by lice here is that there are some insects that cause these lice in pig. If you have a very white pig and your pig is infected with lice, if you look very sternly on the skin of the insect, you will see a yellowish, brownish insect that is moving around the body of that white pig. Sometimes it may have a black head, but they are very tiny. It's only about 0.5 millimeters. They are very tiny, but if you have a white pig and look very sternly on the skin, you may see some small insect that is moving around the skin. That is if your pigs is infected with lice. Yes, you will see them very small moving around in the skin of your pig. Most so, you can see them especially in the folded part of the skin near the neck, as if the pig want to lift up the head or keep the head down, that folded part of the skin. If your pig is infected with lice, you will see that that part I'm talking about will sometimes be red. They will be red in color, that place will be reddish in color. That is if you are having white pigs, you will discover that that folded part of the neck will be reddish in color. Or sometimes some edge of the ear will have some slice injury. In the edge of the ear of your pig, you will see that they have some slice injury that look like reddish in color. That is nearer to the ear. These insects will lay their eggs in the ear of your pigs. They will even lay the eggs in that folded part of the skin, or sometimes they may even lay the eggs inside the cavity that is in the legs of the pig. So any hiding place in the skin of your pig, that is where they will lay their eggs. And these eggs that they will lay will hatch in a period of about 12 to 20 days. Will follow a few two process, and they will reach the complete cycle in 29 to 33 days. And by these 29 to 33 days, this insect had come to a mature hematopenos. That is a mature lice, which can also lay eggs and reproduce other one. So before you know it, small time, the whole body of the pig has been seriously infected, because the more number of lice in the body of the pig, the more the pig is seriously infected with this disease. Another thing is that when your pig is infected with this disease, number one problem is that it will damage the skin. It will damage the skin. The skin will be in contact irritation and inching. That is, your pig will always crash itself. Because of the inching, that will make your pig to crash itself in the wall, in the gate, or any hard subject. You will always see your pig getting near to that hard object and be crashing itself repeatedly and repeatedly. This may cause restlessness in the pig because it will not allow them to feel fine or rest. Yes. So it is a dangerous disease. Some farmers would ignore it as something that is not all that serious. Yes. So if large number of these insects attack your pig, and the pig is scratching itself continuously, which will make the pig to have restlessness, we also know that this may reduce the growing rate of the pig. Because the pig cannot rest, it has been crashing itself because of the inching, and this lice is sucking a lot of blood in the pig's body because they are parasite. They are parasitic insects. They depend on the body of the pig to survive, and without the body of the pig, they can only survive for only 2 days. They will die off. So the body of the pig is the host. They feed and eat on the body. So the more number of these insects in your body, that means the more they will reduce the growing rates of your pig, which is not good with you as a farmer. And most of the time, because of this stress that the pig is undergoing, it may have anemia. The pig may not even be able to eat again because it's not feeling fine. And you know, this will seriously reduce the growing rate of the pig, which is not good with you. Yes. So briefly, that was lice and what caused it. You can identify it in your body, in your pig, when you see them crashing itself too much on the hard object. You can even identify when you see them having some reddish part in the skin. And even then, the pig will not feel fine with this disease. Yes. So that is the symptoms and the cause of that particular disease that we know as lice. Well, I want to put an end there. Next video that I'm going to produce, I'm going straight to how to prevent and how to treat lice. That is, if you see lice in your farm or identify it in your farm, how to treat it. I'm going to talk about how to treat it in the next video, and more so how to prevent it so that it did not come into your farm. Because immediately your animal come in contact with this particular insect, or whether it is infected and transmitted from another pig, because it's a communicable disease, that means your animal has been infected. So in this area, you need to treat your animal, because if you don't treat it in time, this will lead to problem in your farm, which is not good with you. Well, that was your green pig grow talking on your screen. We call it a day for now.